Hello, welcome to the Shoot, Reload, Repeat podcast. I am your host, Calvin, aka Tactical as Buck, and I am here today with my co-host, Charles Leatherwood.
Hello.
So, before we start, let's just talk about what we did in guns this week. So, why don't you go ahead and tell our listeners, Charles, what you did this week in guns? What did you do?
Yesterday, our club had a classifier match. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was kind of difficult at times. I didn't do as well as I wanted to, but that's what I did yesterday.
So, y'all shot how many classifiers did y'all shoot?
5.
5 classifiers. That's a lot. So,
yeah, some of them were pretty difficult, or not difficult, but interesting because 3 of them you had mandatory reloads. 1 of them you had to reload 4 times.
So if you're not, people that are listening that aren't, don't really know what we're talking about, USPSA and other shooting sports have what's called a classification system. It's like a way to measure your skill. The way that they do it in USPSA is whatever division you're in. Once you have 4 classifiers, I think they average those classifiers, and then that's your classification. So like for me, when I was shooting limited, I was the C class limited. I only have 1 classifier so far as carry optics. So I'm going to shoot a classifier match in July down here, so that way I can try to get my classification. But that's just how that works. Did you do anything else other than your match? Did you practice or do anything?
No, I didn't have a chance to go practice at all this week, so I just went at it cold, and you could tell on the first stage.
Yeah.
But it was a good day.
It's good. I did a little bit of practice on Friday night. It was freaking hot. It was like 90 degrees. When I got off work, I went to my range and I worked on moving, like shooting in one position, moving to another, worked on hard lanes, things like that. And then Saturday was my birthday, and I shot an AASA match. AASA stands for American Action Shooting Association. It's kind of like USPSA. They have some paper targets, some steel, but it's colored. So like white targets you only shoot once, blue you shoot 2, yellow you shoot 3, and then sometimes they have like these large white targets, and then they're either 4 or 5 plates. You have to shoot them multiple times. It was a really good match. I had shot one in May, but this match was way more challenging. We had a whole stage of strong hand, weak hand. So you shot a plate rack, and then you shot the stuff on the right, strong hand, stuff on the left, weak hand. I did okay in my division. I think I got like 5th out of 7 or something like that. I had my strong hand and weak hand stage killed me. My weak hand was not very good. I even practiced it on Friday, but I did really good. I shot all my points. I was really happy. Switching over to this dot has been really challenging. So I have been doing a lot of dry fire. I've been trying to at least go and shoot once a week in practice because it's kind of like shooting irons. But you just have to have like when I shot limited and I shot irons, I knew what shots I needed to have a full sight picture, and I knew, okay, if I'm shooting at 7 yards, really close, I can just have a very loose sight picture. But if I'm shooting at 20 yards, I need to have notch and post, very traditional sight picture. And with the dot, I think what I was trying to do was I was trying to have that clear dot in every shot, and you can't do that. Really, like you just crush your grip. You shoot the blur. Like if the red is in the acceptable A zone, just squeeze the trigger, and it's been pretty good. So that's what I did. I ordered some dry fire targets from Ben Stoger Pro Shop, so that way I can kind of work on my practice. But yeah, that's pretty much all we've done. That's all I've done. So loaded some bullets.
One of our classifiers, you had to sit in a chair at a table and hold a deck of cards in your hand with your pistol on the table, elbows on the table, and you had a choice. You could either stay seated and shoot the 6 targets, I take it back. It was 6. It was 3 paper targets and 3 steels, or you could stand up.
Did you stay seated?
No, I stood up.
Yeah, every time I've shot a qualifier, I don't shoot very well sitting down. I shot one when I shot limited, there was one where you had to shoot a head box at like 20 yards or maybe like 15 yards. I don't remember, but I did it all standing. I probably need to work on the sitting and the shooting because it's faster to sit and shoot because you waste about a second or two. When we're talking about qualifiers, you want to get that high hit factor. You want the fast time and the good points. So probably something I need to practice.
Well, everybody that shot before me, when they stayed seated, they were shooting high.
Yeah, guys, I guess the angle is different.
Yeah. I don't know. It was interesting. I decided to stand up. But.
Yeah, I think that's. I don't know. It's kind of one of those things. Like you almost have to, let's say at practice, set up that qualifier and time it and do your points and see. Okay, if I stand up and I shoot, I have. Let's say you said it was 3 paper targets.
3 paper and then 3 steel.
So they were like, okay, I have 5 alphas, 1 Charlie. But if I'm sitting, I have 4 alphas, 2 Charlies. Well, is the extra second to help to stand up, is it worth for the 2 extra alphas? Or is it, that's we have to sit there and figure out a way to do that hit factor calculus.
Right.
So, and I tried to find, I found an app that does it, but for some reason when you download it from the App Store, it doesn't work. So if you're an app developer and listen to this podcast, download an app that you can figure out hit factor, because I like to do that whenever I practice. I'll set up a mini stage, I'll shoot it, we'll run through it. So I guess we get started on our topic. So in today's topic, we're going to talk about what we have in our range bags, and I like talking about gear. I think a lot of people like hearing about gear. We'll try not to bore you to death. I recently just bought a new range bag. I bought a backpack range bag because when I went to that Austin match, I have one of those traditional big range bags with the 2 side pockets for your gun, and then the big part that opens, then has 2 little side pockets you can put stuff in. And it's just a pain in the ass to carry when you have your belt on because you got to throw it over your shoulder. So I bought a backpack one. I don't remember the brand of it. I'll link it in show notes. I bought it on Amazon. It's not a bad backpack. There's a bunch of the GPS makes really, really good backpacks, and I think I might buy one of theirs. I might return the one I have and buy one of theirs. The one I have is not great. I mean, I'm not in love with it, but I don't hate it. So there's a couple problems that I have with it, and I'll talk about that when we start talking about it. But what do you use for a range bag?
Well, you also know when I go to the range, I take my yard wagon, so
yeah, I
can haul anything I need to. Plus, we might need to talk about my customized range chicken bag after a while.
Yeah, we can talk about that. Yeah, I was going to buy a cart, but I was like, man, I really don't want to have to lug all that around. On the Saturday's match, my wife actually went with me, and I brought us a cooler, and it wasn't bad. I just had my backpack in the cooler, and I also carry a little water jug. So I guess let's look at what. So I know you use your cart, but is there let's say you go to an indoor range or if you're gonna go practice, what do you take? What do you have? What kind of range bag do you use?
I've got a Gunmate range bag. It's probably mid-size. It'll hold, 3 pistols.
That's pretty good.
It's also customized with the Deadpool luggage tag on the zipper.
Gotta have that.
Yeah, gotta support Deadpool. And it's funny, I was digging through it when I got home yesterday, and just seeing after I take my ammo and my pistols out, I really didn't have a whole lot in there, but I got a Butler Creek mag loader, which I used a lot this weekend. I like it.
Do you like it? Is that one I gave you right? I can never get it to work.
I finally figured out how to get it to work. You just kind of got to get muscly with it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a bootleg Maglula one. I think they try to.
It worked really good once I figured it out. It's like I said, I had to figure it out.
So all right, yeah. The range bag I have, I think is Explorer. I think it's the brand of it. My old range bag is the same brand. I'll put some pictures on my Instagram after I post this episode. I like it a lot. It has 2 compartments, like front zipper parts. And what's cool about it is it comes with little inserts, and they Velcro. So you can in each of the 2 zipper openings, you can make compartments. So on the top one, I have 2 compartments where I have my headphones, my glasses, my towel, and then on the bottom, I have it separated. One side where my gun goes, and the other side where my ammo goes. I think I might put another compartment in there so that way my ammo doesn't move around so much. Then it has some side pockets. It has like, I think it can hold like 15 magazines. It has one really big side zipper that you can put a bunch of magazines in. I like it. It's not bad, so maybe I might keep it. We'll see. So let's talk.
I got a bag that I put my pistols in, and it also holds like 6 mags that fits in my gun bag, so that way I can take that bag to the safe area to take my pistol out and put it in my gun belt.
Yeah, and I think that's something that a lot of new shooters don't know about. Like when you go to a USPSA competition, like you just can't whip out your pistol and put it in your belt. You have to go. So they at pretty much all competitions I've ever shot, they have what's called a safe area. And they have them at, depending on the range, some of them have them at every bay, which is really nice. And then some of them, there's like 2 or 3 for the entire range. And you can't have any ammo and no ammo on the table. You can take your gun out. Usually it's facing a berm. So you can sit there and you can dry fire, you can draw. You can practice a table start if you wanted to, whatever. You can also take your gun apart and work on it. When I shot that first match this season in February and my dot died, I pretty much took apart my pistol on the table. But when you go there, you have to have it in like a pistol case. Like I have like a tan one. It's decent size, so it could fit any size pistol. Just walk over, unzip it, take it out. So if you're a new shooter listening to this, that is an essential that you need to have in your range bag. Because if you just whip out your pistol and throw it, like let's say you're right at the bay, and they have the little tables and you're loading your mags, you just pull your pistol out and put it in your mat and your holster. You can get DQ'd for that because it's a safety thing. So this keep that in mind. What are some essentials that you keep in your range bag? So if you're going to go to a match, if I looked in your range bag, what is something that I'm always going to see?
You're always going to see my electronic earmuffs.
Which ones are the Howard lights?
Yeah, the Honeywell Howard light.
Yeah, I have.
I'm thinking about going to the ear plugs, the electronic ear plugs.
Yeah, I am too. Because when it's hot in the summer, it's just more on your head, more on your ears. What brand have you been looking at?
I haven't. I was just kind of watching. I think there was only like 3 of us in my squad that had the actual headphones. And
yeah, I think in the summertime those are a safe bet. Because between shooters at matches, even if like the bay next to us is shooting, I'll still take off my ear pro. Because it's hot. Otherwise, your ears are covered. It's hot. So, okay. What are some other things that you keep? Some other essentials?
I keep my old school Simmons amber shooting glasses in there in case I need them. I keep a bottle of Imodium in case the breakfast burritos act up on the way of the match.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't keep anything like that in mind.
I carry Q-tips. And then I keep a bag of AA batteries for my headphones. And then I've got some tools. I got a complete set of Husky Allen wrenches. And then I've got 3 mini screwdrivers, a flat, a Phillips, and a mini Phillips. And one thing I've got to put in my bag, and I thought about it yesterday, we've had a lot of rain up here in the Lubbock area this past week. So the range was pretty muddy, and I need to throw in a couple of towels.
Yeah, I've been taking a towel with me just because, not because of the rain, but because of the sweat here in South Texas. It's been pretty freaking hot and humid, and it's nice to take a towel after you shoot and wipe off the sweat off your arms and take off your hat and your glasses. Go to a safe part of the range and just kind of dry off. So some essentials I keep in my bag, definitely my hearing protection. One of the sponsors of the Rudy team is 3M, is Peltor. I might switch to those, just better hearing protection. But I also thinking about like going the same route as you with the in-ear protection, because man, it's hot with those earmuffs on. During the wintertime when it's cooler, it's not too bad. But man, when it's 100 degrees and 60% humidity, it's just something I don't want to deal with.
Well, it really hurts my head too after a while with sunglasses or the eye protection. It's because you got the headphones pushing up against your ears, against the legs of the glasses.
And that's what my
That's
wife.
what bothers me.
That's what my wife was complaining. But when we left the match, she said her head had hurt, and it's true. If you're not used to it, it'll really bother you. Some things I keep in mind. I have this little zipper pouch that I keep. So I replaced a bunch of trigger springs in my Glock. So I have all the OEM springs in there. I have a brass punch in my rear sight, just in case my red dot ever dies. I can put my rear sight back on, take off the dot, and shoot limited if I have to. I have a few tools. I have a screwdriver for my dot to make sure that it's tight. Of course, I keep extra 2032 batteries in there. I don't keep a set of Allen wrenches. I had this tool from Real Avid. It has like all kinds of different. It has some Allen keys on it. It has a bunch of different like gun tools already on it. I keep that in my bag. Depending if I'm going to go practice, I have my packed shot timer. I have my masking tape. I just recently put a towel in there because I gotta have a towel. This is like in the summer. It's really essential. Keep my hands dry. I have my Crown Royal bag that I put on my brass in when I go to the range.
Can I ask you a question about your towel?
Yeah.
Is it a Norwich towel?
No, but my wife is going to hook me up with a Norwex towel with an Enviro cloth and an Optic cloth for my glasses because I have one of my old bath towels from when I lived in the apartment, my really old ones, and so she's like, "I'm going to get you a Norwex towel." Now, I think I might just clip it to my backpack. Something else I keep in my bag is I keep sunscreen, of course. And then I have my shooting glasses, so my Rudy Project shooting glasses. They're really great glasses, hearing protection, all that. So that's pretty much the essentials that I keep in my range bag. I don't keep like one thing I do think I need to try to get is like either like some athletic tape or some sort of like Band-Aids because I've like cut my hand or my fingers before, and I've had to like. Luckily, this lady had some of like like that. What's that tape called? It's black athletic tape, like all the athletes wear it, like YT tape or whatever.
Yeah.
I put a piece of that on my finger and it worked okay. So I think I need to like have a little bit of first aid. I know some people keep trauma kits, like a tourniquet, chest seal, stuff like that in their range bag. I guess I could do that too. That way, if anything ever happens, we'd be able to take care of business. Or if I'm at practice or whatever and I hurt myself, I could patch myself up.
I'm ordering one, and that way I can put it in my hiking backpack or throw it in my gun bag too, wherever I need
it's
to
just
go.
good just to have. So, but yeah, those are pretty much the essentials that I have. I don't really carry anything really, off the wall. I don't have a staple or anything because at my range, my berm is too short to staple, so I just set my targets on the ground. But I'm working on that. So those are pretty much the essentials I keep in my range bag.
And I always take way more ammo than I'll need.
Yeah, the match I shot on Saturday was 100 rounds, and I took 300.
Yeah, I did too.
Because, like, you never know. Like, because you and I, we both reload, and you could have a jacked up batch of ammo. But it's also nice to have extra ammo if someone needs it. Like, I know when I shot this same match a month ago, when I had my 2 squibs, my good buddy Tyler Northcutt hooked me up. He let me use some of his ammo. So it's good just to have extra ammo, So, especially if you shoot a lot and you miss, it's always good. You don't want to run out of ammo in the middle of a match. That'd be bad and have to leave or borrow it. So, I didn't think about this. I also have a box, like, I think I have my little bang box of like 300 rounds, 200 rounds of factory ammo I keep in my range bag whenever I go to competitions, just in case I am having problems, like with my reloads. I had the factory ammo that I know will work, which if anything happens, I can always rely on that. So that is something that I have been keeping in my range bag since I started reloading, was like 200 or 300 rounds of factory ammo just to have it, just in case. So
good idea.
So what are some things that you would like to add to your range bag setup, like something that you've been thinking about adding or that you need to put in there that you don't have already?
Well, every time, like I said, the first thing is my first aid kit. I kicked around going to go buy or make one, but, I got to look it on Amazon, and they got some really nice ones that aren't too big. They're probably about, I don't know, 7 inches tall, 8 inches wide, and 3 inches thick. So it'd go in your bag or your backpack real easy. It's got compression bandages, heavy gauze, tourniquet. It's even got a CPR thing.
Oh wow, like a little mouth thing.
Yeah, it's got the mouthpiece. It's got the EMT shears, where you cut somebody's jeans off in a hurry if you had to.
Right.
It's not bad. It's only like $34.
Maybe I'll get one.
I'll tell you the brand here in just a minute.
We can link it in the show notes too, so if people want to buy one, they can buy one.
Gotcha. But a towel. Something I don't carry it in my range bag, but I always got it in my truck is I wear glasses, so when I shoot, I wear contacts, but if something happens, I got an extra pair of glasses in the truck.
Yeah, that's always a good idea to keep.
Yeah, because shooting competitions, the ability to see is very good.
Yeah, it's kind of crucial. You don't keep any Glock, you shoot the same gun, you don't keep any spare parts for your Glock, like trigger springs or anything like that?
I don't have any parts.
Yeah, that might be something that you look at, just buying I think on eBay or Midway, you can buy just Glock OEM springs. That way you have them just in case one of them breaks.
That's probably a really good idea.
Because when I replaced all mine, I even have trigger bar, things like that. Because when I replaced them, I just kept it because I thought, you know what, if something breaks, I can take it apart and use the OEM. I mean, the trigger pull will be a little different, a little heavier, whatever. But at least I can still shoot. I would like to be able to build a second, a second upper for my gun, like the same red dot, slide, barrel. That way, if my dot goes down, I can just throw that. I can just take the slide, put the barrel in it, or not even just a slide with the parts in it. Put with the new dot and just put the barrel in it, recoil spring, and then go. Because shooting a dot, if your dot dies, something happens with your dot, you're kind of out of luck. So I'm thinking about looking into that, just building another Glock 17 slide. That way, you can just throw my barrel in it, my recoil spring, and then it's good to go. It's already zeroed, it's ready to go. So I'm thinking about doing that as well. I know a lot of people have two guns, a lot of guys have they shoot a STI, they have two STIs, or they have Tamfolio, they have two Tamfolios. I haven't been blessed with the opportunity to shoot a level 2 match yet. I know shooting level 2s, a lot of people do that because, if your gun goes down, you don't want to have to leave your level 2 match or level 3 match because you paid a lot of money for it. But I feel like at a local match, it's not that big a deal. If my gun goes down and I can't fix it there, I'm okay with leaving or, maybe using somebody else's gun. So, but that's something I've been thinking about adding to my range bag.
Yeah, I don't have another gun. I mean, I've got that Ruger, but I'd have to change out all my mag holders, everything else.
Yeah, you have to change out your holster. So, yeah. But you're not shooting it. You're shooting a Glock, and Glocks, knock on wood, very reliable. And you're not shooting a red dot or anything. One thing you might think about doing because you have that fiber optic is finding some cheap fiber optic. I don't know because we're shooting those Zev sights. I don't know what the width is, but finding like some extra fiber optic. That way, if you ever have to your fiber optic falls out, you could always replace it.
I've got extras, and I forgot that is in my bag.
You have extras? That's good because if your fiber optic falls out, you're kind of. You can shoot black sights, but they're hard to see. So.
Well, that happened to me one time with a shotgun. I got fiber optics on my shotgun too.
Man.
I lost a little red rod.
And you go and you look and there's nothing there. Oh crap! What do I shoot at?
Back to old school.
Back to old school. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about? Talking about range bags? I think we kind of hit everything. I don't think you and I really carry anything crazy that other people carry. So, I take snacks to the range. I've been taking peanut butter sandwiches because when it's hot, you need to eat. Of course, hydrating, taking a cooler during these hotter summer months. So,
Yeah, I take a cooler. I got my little stool that I throw in my wagon. That was funny. We had a bunch of new folks at this shoot Saturday, and there's a bunch of them that didn't bring anything to sit on. And I offered some ladies the stool if they wanted to use it, because, when the ladies go, there's a lot of standing around,
Yeah, there is. Amber, when my wife went, we brought her a chair, but she didn't use it. Because at that range we were at, it's really shaded because it's like the cowboy action range they shoot on, and so it wasn't too bad. Usually in USPSA though, you don't really have a lot of time to sit because a person shoots, and if you're not about to shoot, usually you're helping set up and pace targets and stuff like that or reset. So I don't usually sit down unless we walk up into a stage and the squad is still shooting. Then I'll sit down, but I usually don't sit down during a match.
Usually I sit down because I made me a little table for my war wagon. I'll sit down when I reload, because I'll set all my mags and stuff up on that little table and reload it, and then that's about the only time I sit down.
Yeah. So I think a chair is a good choice. Just don't be that person on the squad that doesn't reset, because we had a couple of those on Saturday. It was really annoying. So. I think. Is there anything else you would like to talk about before we jump off this thing?
I can't think of anything else on this subject.
So I think we are going to probably do our reloading episode probably next week. I talked to a couple of the Reedy guys. I'm going to have them on in a couple weeks. I'm going to have another guy on that shoots in the Dallas area. I mentioned him in our last episode on here. So I think we'll close it out. So if you are listening to this on Apple Podcasts, please go ahead and subscribe. Whatever other platform you're listening to on, Spreaker, Spotify, anything else, make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you like. If we get enough reviews, we can do a review show. Read people's review of our show. Share this with your friends. Send out the link, let them listen to it, download it, delete it, download it, re-download it, listen to it, download it again so we can get our downloads up. Make sure that you subscribe to us. You can follow me on Instagram and YouTube at TacticalAsBuck. You can follow, you want to plug your Instagram as well so that way people can follow you. I've been seeing that you have been posting a little bit more on Instagram ever since we started this shindig.
Well, yeah, and I got really busy cooking, and I like to share what I'm cooking.
Yeah. You gotta do something while the meat cooks, right? You gotta share it with the world.
Oh man!
So, well, thank you guys for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. Make sure you share this with us, and shoot fast and don't suck.